Okay. Good morning and welcome to Saturday morning meditation. So the first thing we do when we sit down to meditate is to establish our intention. So we'll just take a moment now to generate compassion for all sentient beings who have been our kind mothers countless times over in all of our past lives. And we can generate compassion for them and make the wish to free them from suffering. And then we'll say the opening prayers. Organ yugi num jansam, pemage sardompola, yatsin chogi ngorubne, pemajong ne jesura, kordu kandro mangpogor, Ketki Jesu Daug Druki Jinji Lop Cheer Shake Su Soul Guru Pama City Home Organ Yugi Num Jansam Pemage Sardombola Yatsen Chogi Ngodrupne Pemajong ne Jesurak Kordu Kandro Mangpogor Ketki Jesu Dak Druki Jinji Lop Cheer Shake Su Soul Guru Pema City Home Organ Yugi Num Jansam Pemage sardompola Yatsen chogi ngodrubne Pemajong ne jesura Kordu kandro mangpogor Ketki Jesu Dak Druki Jinji Lop Cheer Shake Su Soul Guru Pema City Home. So the meditation we'll be doing today is called Shamatha meditation or calm abiding meditation, as you know. So Jetsama has taught that meditation is the natural state of mind when it is relaxed, stable, and open. And this calm abiding meditation trains our mind to be calm and relaxed while also being alert and wakeful. And the point of this meditation is to create space in our minds. And creating space in our minds helps us to balance our emotions. It helps us, it gives us time between action and reaction, and just a little bit of buffer time between us and everything that's happening to us or going on in our lives. And it's the first step in the development of bodhicitta, the compassionate wish to free all sentient beings from suffering. And this practice is so foundational to all Buddhist traditions, and I feel like there's just so many things you can learn from Shamatha meditation, like just in, like the Buddha said that it was his favorite practice, his favorite meditation practice, and one thing I was thinking about this week was just how much it helps with understanding experientially the nature of impermanence. Because when you're meditating, You start to see just how impermanent all of your thoughts that go through your head are. All of these thoughts that you think are so important, and they make up who you are and what your life is about. And then as you start getting used to meditating and get used to seeing these thoughts come and go, and you're just constantly letting things go. You're letting it go, letting it go, letting it go. And then when we leave our meditation, what's going on in our lives? Everything is impermanent. Everything is just passing through, and we just have to let it go, let it go, let it go. And so it's like such a good practice in doing that, and just dropping what we're attached to, letting it go, understanding the impermanent nature of everything. So there's so much that we can learn from doing this meditation. So we'll take a comfortable seat. If you're watching online, you could be doing this meditation sitting in a chair or sitting cross-legged on the floor. And we'll place our hands in our lap, gently relaxed. Traditionally, we hold one hand in the other with the thumbs touching, and place the hands so the thumbs are just below the navel. You can also just rest your hands on your thighs. And then check in with your posture. Make sure your spine is straight like a stack of coins. Your shoulders are open, kind of back a bit. And your elbows are out a little bit away from your body. So your rib cage has a lot of room around it, a lot of room to breathe. We're sitting in a posture where we have a stable base. You should feel stable however you're sitting, however your legs are arranged. You should feel stable with your straight spine. And then our eyes are going to remain open, looking downwards. You can imagine a line following the bridge of your nose and extending down to the floor. And just find a point along that line where it's comfortable to rest your gaze. And then lastly, place the tip of your tongue right behind your front teeth. It's like saying the letter L. And allow yourself to relax completely and breathe normally. Just breathe however feels natural for your body. If you have difficulty settling into your natural rhythm, you can take a big out breath and just let out all your air. And then naturally your lungs will fill with deep breaths again. So relaxing into our natural rhythm of breathing. Then we place a very light attention on the breath. Don't try to control it at all. Just breathe naturally with the most gossamer thin attention on your breath. It's like taking your pulse. You don't put any pressure on it, just observe it. Your attention is like a feather, gently riding on the surface of your breath. When thoughts come up, which they will, just let them go like bubbles popping on the surface of a pond. Just let the thoughts pop. Don't even look to see what they are. Your meditation is not lost by hearing your thoughts, but by following them down the road. So as soon as you find yourself following a thought, just drop it. Let it pop and return to the breath. And if it's really difficult for you to dismiss your thoughts, you can imagine picking them up with tongs and dropping them, or cutting them with scissors and throwing them away. But you always return to that single-pointed concentration. Return again and again to the gossamer thin attention on your breath. All right, so that's our first round of meditation. So, when we're meditating, all of our thoughts come into our heads, and our thoughts will do everything they can to get our attention and try to keep us from meditating. And that's normal. So just a lot of times people think they're sitting there meditating and they think, wow, everyone here is like meditating and they're doing a really good job and they're sitting so still. And then actually like everyone's got a circus playing inside their heads. And that's just, we're all just sitting here with our own little circus music. And that's normal. We just stay with the breath. So it's not a problem. I think sometimes people think you have to stop the thoughts. You have to make it be quiet in your head to meditate, and you don't. And it's not the point. It's not what we're trying to do. Chagda Tuku talks about how when you do that kind of a meditation where you're like trying to stop everything and block everything out, it's like pushing pause on a tape player. Or an iPod or Spotify or whatever we're listening to nowadays. It's like just playing pause on, just pressing the pause button. And then as soon as you stop your meditation, you're going to lift your finger up off the button. And then there's all of that noise again. There's all of that stuff going on again. So it doesn't really do anything. It just gives you a little reprieve and then you're right back in it with no tools really. But this kind of meditation where we're not blocking the thoughts, but we just are allowing them to pass through, that skill carries over into our time off the cushion as well, of allowing things, allowing thoughts to pass through and not grasping at them, allowing experiences to pass through and not grasping at them. It starts letting us have a lighter touch on our just way of being in the world. And I think there's a teaching or saying about being like a bee, and you go to flower, like a gentle bee, and you just get your pollen, and it's good to just be gentle in the world like that. And so meditation helps us do that, where we're just having a lighter touch, not having to grab onto everything, not having to grasp everything. Just allowing things to pass through. So and then when you feel like that towards the thoughts in your head, even when you're having like a really stressful day, you're having a panic attack or whatever, it's just you're suffering a little bit less. There's just a little bit less suffering when it's not so strong and we're not so stuck in it. So we'll do another round of meditation. Oh boy, all these apps, they want me to share my meditation. Like all these apps now are social. Using a timer that once you're telling me who else is meditating right now. Melissa meditated for an hour somewhere in the world. I don't know. It's great. Everyone should meditate. Okay. So we'll come back to our meditation posture, our stable seat, our straight spine, relaxed body. Hands are in your lap, gently relaxed. Eyes are open, looking downwards. Your tongue is just behind your front teeth. We're putting a very light attention on the breath. Just breathe naturally with the most gossamer thin attention on your breath. Your attention is like a feather, gently riding on the surface of your breath.
Whack-a-mole.
It's like whack-a-mole. Yeah.
Because at that point where I feel like I've, that thought, I let that go, then another one.
Yep. Exactly.
Which is like seductive. Like it's not really a thought. It's like something else.
Yeah.
Not naming it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, they just keep coming. The thoughts just keep coming.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's the body, sometimes it's the mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's outside, it's just sensory.
Sometimes it's emotions. Sometimes it's, yeah. Sometimes it's wondering how long till the timer sits and, or till the timer dings. Yeah, sometimes it's falling asleep. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like after, like, when you've meditated many times and for many meditation sessions, you start seeing that it's like all the same fish in the pond. It's like always the same fish. And it's just like, oh, that fish is flapping its tail today. Okay. But like, it's still the same fish. It's still the same, like, oh, it's the boredom fish. Oh, it's the, let me bring up all of the horrible regrets I have fish. It's the, what am I anxious about fish? It's the, whatever thing. But it's like, I feel like there's just these habits we have that circle around, and it's just, sometimes I feel like you'll see it if you, maybe like you let go, let's say the anxiety fish is very active. And then so you let go of an anxious thought, you let go of an anxious thought, you let go of an anxious thought. And you might have a moment where it's almost like that fish is going, what else do I have? What else do I have here? Oh, you could be anxious about this. And it's like, really? Come on. I don't need to be anxious about that. You're just making stuff up now. Like, you're just trying to get me, it's just the habit. It's just that habit. It's looking, if it doesn't, it's, yeah, you don't need to be anxious about that thing, but that anxiety habit is going to try and find anything it can to pull in, and the boredom habit's going to do it. And yeah, it's easier habits swimming around. I think then it gets a little bit easier to let go of the individual thoughts, because you kind of like, it's like the Scooby-Doo episodes where they pull off the mask and are like, who's really the villain here? And it's like, it's not really that scary thought. It's just that same old habit you've been dealing with every single day. And it just looks like that today.
Yeah.
I think it takes the bite out of some of the thoughts that come up to just be like, oh, I know what you really are. You're just my habit of anxiety. All right, we're going to do just one last little meditation to round it out. So, in our meditation posture, straight back, relaxed body. As Shunryu Suzuki Roshi says, when you're meditating, leave your front door and your back door open. Let your thoughts come and go. Just don't serve them tea. So we'll just rest our attention on our breath. Your attention is like a feather gently riding on the surface of your breath. end of our practice, we'll say our dedication prayers. We always end our practice with dedication prayers, because we don't just meditate for ourselves. At the end of our practice, we always give all of our virtue away to all beings. So, throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I have accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice, and all that I will ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas all together, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, and whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly, I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. Right. Thank you so much for being here today.